Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel for my Halloween video. I'm Cosmic Heather, or today I am Cortana from the Halo series, and we are going to be talking about Nerf blasters that you can sell on eBay from a thrifter's perspective. Because who am I? I'm not much of a Nerfer, but I am a basically professional thrifter. I go to the thrift, I find things to sell on eBay, rinse, repeat. And one thing you can find at basically any Goodwill, any thrift store is a Nerf blaster. But not all of those Nerf blasters are worth your time selling. But I'm gonna give you a whole bunch that are. And this is not a comprehensive list by any means. Number one, we're only doing 2000s and later, so we're not gonna get into any vintage Nerf. Number two, it's just gonna be ones that I've either personally found and sold over the years, or my husband has personally found and sold over the years, or ones that I think are reasonably common enough to find out thrifting. So while it's not gonna cover every valuable or semi-valuable Nerf gun ever, it's gonna be a reasonable selection. And this is only gonna count for eBay prices, and this is only gonna count for thrifting prices. So I can typically find a Nerf blaster at my thrifts for under 10 bucks. So with all that in mind, let's get to the Nerf blasters. Roll the intro. We're gonna start with the Zombie Strike series because I personally find a lot of Zombie Strike at the thrift. There were quite a lot of blasters in the Zombie Strike series, but I'm gonna talk about the few that I think are worth it. Number one is the Zombie Strike Sledgefire. It's sort of a shotgun-based dart blaster. This one really used to be a favorite of mine because I would find it semi-regularly, and it used to sell for a lot more money than it does now. If you would find it complete with the 3 shells it's supposed to come with, I only have one right now. I think I used to sell it for like $50 to $70 complete with 3 shells. Now that there are 3D printed replacements for these that have gone up on eBay over the past couple years, it seems like the price of the blaster as a whole has gone down, and I'm not really sure why that is. But I sold 2 recently. I just sold this one last night. In fact, I have to package it up, and I sold it for $35 with no shells. And I paid, I think, $5 for it, so all things considered, not too bad. But yeah, this one's kind of sad because it used to be worth a little bit more money. And the only reason I didn't sell this particular one with the shell is because I like to keep one around to test them with because I typically don't find them with the shell. So it's nice to have darts and stuff on hand to actually test these guys, because that's another important part that I'll get into is if you're going to be selling Nerf blasters, you need to be testing the Nerf blasters. So you need to have supplies on hand with which to do that. But I would say a safe bet on the Sledgefire is 25 and up. It was a really good week for me thrifting. I found another Zombie Strike that I wanted to talk about, and that is the Dreadbolt crossbow. It's huge. I gotta like lean back here. It's a very large blaster. This one does not run on darts. You gotta have the arrows for it, but luckily the arrows are quite cheap to pick up. I happen to have some arrows on hand to test it with, so I could confirm this one works. But this big Dreadbolt crossbow, you can safely get about 30 and up for. Do not confuse it with the smaller Crossfire bow. That one doesn't have this big orange piece on the front. I will say that this one's kind of a slow seller. There's not typically many listed and many sold. I don't know that people are really into the crossbows and arrow shooting blasters, but like, I think they're cool. It works. This one works, and I think I listed it for $60 with free shipping, and I got it for $1. So yeah, keep an eye out for this big guy. And then the last Zombie Strike I want to talk about is the Rough Cut 2x4. This was a 2-pack blaster. It was a green one and an orange one, and most of the value here lies with having like a complete pair. It doesn't really have a lot of eBay data right now. There's only about 5 listed, 5 sold, and I've seen a complete matched pair go for like 40 or 50. Now when it comes to most blasters, they can't easily be put into like visual categories to stick in your brain. To me, Zombie Strike is a really easy category because I can look at a blaster and think, that's the Zombie Strike, because it has a very clear look to it, you know, color scheme wise and the certain blasters. And also it'll usually say on it what it is, like this one will say Zombie Strike. But most do not come in like a really nice category like that. So you do sort of have to gain the knowledge and branch out. Sometimes you get something like the N Strike line, which is huge and has a ton of different color variants, and it can be hard to sort of pin down what's valuable and what's not. And the specific color variant can make or break the value. So let's talk about N Strike and their color variants and how those chips fall on eBay. So amongst the N Strike color variants that I'm gonna talk about, we're gonna talk about Clear, plain clear, which was a Target exclusive, Sonic, which was a clear green, Sonic Fire, and Sonic Ice, which were clear red and clear blue. Those Sonic green, red, and blues were Toys R Us exclusives. There was Whiteout, which was a Walmart exclusive color scheme. And Walmart also had a red strike color scheme that was a 2009 Black Friday exclusive. Literally one date, one exclusive color. So as you can imagine, those ones are worth quite a bit. For instance, let's look at the N Strike Recon CS6 blaster. If we look at it complete, which was with the shoulder stock, the barrel extension, the sights, and the little like laser dot, I think, the standard N Strike no variant color scheme may be $20. But if you look at the other color variants, the clear one, for example, maybe $40. The Sonic green one, maybe $60. And Red Strike, that 2009 Black Friday Walmart exclusive color, there are none sold and there's one listed for $125. So one blaster type, several color variants, all end up different prices. And more importantly, if you remember just one thing, remember those Red Strike, also known as Crimson blasters, because those are typically worth money, like regardless. There were only 3 blasters that came in that color: the aforementioned Recon CS6, the Long Shot CS6, and the Vulcan EBF 25, which I'm gonna talk about those next. But if we drill down even further, if you remember one blaster from all the ones I'm gonna talk about, remember the Long Strike CS6 Crimson Red variant. I'm gonna talk about the Vulcan variants next, but that Long Strike Crimson Red Strike variant, I want you to stuff in your brain. In complete condition, there are literally none listed, none sold right now. I had to look on Terapeak. In complete condition, last year one sold for $500, and 2 years ago one sold for $560. So that is a valuable blaster. Even in incomplete condition, you're gonna do okay. The Vulcan EBF 25 is a really big blaster. It comes with a tripod. It comes with a like ammo canister that hangs off the side and a dart belt that goes inside of it to feed the blaster. The standard N Strike non-variant color version, maybe $60 in 100% complete condition, and the clear one goes for about the same amount. The Sonic green one I've seen go from like $75 to $100 on eBay consistently. Somebody did sell the Red Strike one on eBay recently for $90, but I feel like they undersold it. I don't think they knew what they had. So we know that the Long Strike CS6 red one is the one to find, but what about the other color variants? Not to be confused with the aforementioned Long Shot CS6, there's a Long Strike CS6. Complete with the barrel extension, the standard blue one, maybe $35 on eBay. I don't think I saw any listed or sold of the Sonic green or the Whiteout versions, but I think when I looked in Terapeak, it was like $62 for the Sonic green and like $100 and up for the Whiteout version. Let's talk about the Centurion. This was a blaster that came with a bipod. The standard red version is like maybe $35. The Sonic Ice blue version, that Toys R Us exclusive like the other Sonic colors, even without the bipod, I think you can safely get like $50 and up for it. So that's another example of where color matters more than the model. Another example of where color matters more than the blaster model is with the Hailfire. The standard opaque blue one, in my opinion, really isn't worth picking up, but that translucent Sonic Ice blue color, I think I saw one sold and it was like $65. So like that color variant of that blaster is not very common. This one's not really like a blaster in my opinion, but I want to stuff it in your brain anyway. And that is the Terra Scout drone tank. That one in complete working condition is $200. But what I want you to remember more importantly is the remote control, because I find random remote controls thrifting all the time, even in the bins where they've been separated from whatever they came in with. If you remember just that remote control, that alone is worth $40. Next, I want to put some blasters in the category of valuable due to cosplay or Halloween purposes, though that's not like the entire reason why they have value. Just like I like looking for zombie strike stuff, I like looking for Star Wars blasters as well. I recently sold the Captain Phasma Glow Strike for $40. And this blaster did not have like a lot of listed or sold. I don't know if it's just uncommon or what, but that one doesn't seem to come up that often. There are also two blasters that technically go by first order Stormtrooper blaster. There's the deluxe one that shoots darts, and the like standard rival version that shoots rounds. That deluxe one that fires darts, maybe about 50 and up. The rival version that shoots rounds, maybe like 30, but only with the scope. A lot of these, like I've said, they have to be complete in some way. Some of the more rare ones, like you can get away with not having a piece that's supposed to go with it, but the more complete, the more you can expect to get on eBay. Next is the Star Wars Heavy Gunner Blaster. People are getting around 30 bucks for it. Next up is the Star Wars Clone Trooper Blaster. You can get like 25 and up, but this is one of those ones where I assume it's due to Halloween and cosplay demand, because the listed to sold ratio gets really out of whack the further into October you go. Like there's literally only 6 listed to 44 sold. Next up is the Rebel Trooper Blaster. There are 3 color variants of this, but it doesn't really matter. They all sell for about $30 and up. And another Star Wars blaster I want you to think about is the Galaxy's Edge exclusive Bounty Hunter Blaster. And you might be thinking, why are you telling me about a Disney Parks exclusive product? It's because I find Disney Parks exclusive merch at thrifts all the time. Like you wouldn't think it would be as common as it is, but it is. So with that in mind, if you do end up finding it, that one is worth about 30 bucks. And then 2 more that I would put in that cosplay demand category, where it's like you will most likely sell it in October if you don't sell it the rest of the year, is 2 different Overwatch blasters, the DVA blaster and the McCree revolver. Again, those listed to sold ratios kind of go really favorable, with more sold than listed going into the Halloween season. So they only sell for about 20 bucks, but it's pretty quick money if you're in the right time of year. I couldn't dress up like Cortana and not talk about the Nerf Halo blasters. While I don't personally find these thrifting very often, I think we've only found like 1 thrifting. They're not very common on the thrift circuit. The MA40 blaster with the scope, you can get like 80 bucks for that one. And then there's the Needler. This is my personal one. I don't think I've ever found this thrifting. I don't know how common it would be thrifting. I'm gonna guess probably not very common, but like I have one, so I'm gonna talk about it. I've never actually fired the darts that come with it. It has their own little special pink ones. But I think you can still buy this brand new on eBay for like 90 bucks. So in used condition without the original darts and stand, I feel like you could probably get 50 if you happen to find it. Gonna talk about some rival blasters next. I'm literally so sick of these contacts. I didn't realize when I purchased them that they were gradient. So when I blink, they just sort of spiral around in my eyes. And then I look like wonky because the colors don't match. Like the dark might be on the top on this eye and on the bottom on this eye. So I've been trying to like take my Q-tip and push them back into place. So like, if I look a little wonky-eyed throughout the video and then it fixes itself, that's why. So the Nerf Rival Saturn blaster is like a shotgun style one. I think you can reasonably get like 30 bucks and up. The Deadpool Kronos blaster set, it was a 2 blaster set. I think if you find the pair together, you can reasonably expect 30 and up. The Prometheus is a huge blaster. This is one of those ones that's funny because if you just find like the rounds container that goes with it, you can sell that alone for 40 bucks. But if you find the blaster in complete condition with everything it needs to work, it's $150. The Rival Percy's, if you find it complete working with like the battery and the charger and everything, I think you can reasonably expect like 80 bucks and up for that one. I happened to find this one when I was out thrifting last week. It was literally only 50 cents. So I picked it up just to talk about. I would not have picked this up otherwise because this is another one of those ones where most of the value, or not most of the value, but like a lot of the value is in the magazine that is missing from this one. If I wanted to sell this complete and working with a magazine, with the magazine that goes to this specifically, because it's a specific one, I could sell it all together for $30. But you want to know how much it would cost me to get the magazine for this one, the specific magazine that it needs? 20 bucks. So most of the value for this one is in the magazine. So if you find just the magazine that goes to this, it's almost worth picking up more than picking up the blaster without it. But again, I got it for 50 cents and I wanted to use it as an illustrative point. And then lastly, the Nerf Edge Jupiter blaster. That's another one of those bipod blasters. Without that bipod, maybe $50. If you do find it with it, you can ask a little more. I think I've given you a pretty good mix of like lower dollar, easier to find ones, and higher dollar, harder to find ones. And I hope this opens your eyes to the wide world of Nerf thrifting, because basically every thrift store has Nerf blasters of some kind. And if you're a collector that's watched all this and you're like shaking your fist, how dare you tell people to pick up the blasters at the thrift? Now I won't be able to find them for $5. It's like, just stop. That's just jealousy. And in this case, more people will find them, which will mean more people will put them on eBay, which means prices will come down. More blasters in circulation is a good thing, is it not? And because most of them are not worth picking up, there's still going to be plenty of cheap ones to be had for the collectors and the kids who just want a $5 blaster to play in their backyard with. Everybody's fine. Anyway, if you like more thrifting, subscribe to my YouTube channel here. If you like general nonsense like me dressed up like Cortana and whatever else pops into my brain, you're gonna wanna hit my TikTok. And if you just want daily stories of what I'm finding in the thrift and the occasional reel, hit up my Instagram or Facebook. Facebook's monetized right now, where Instagram's really not, so if like you really wanna go to Facebook, I would be grateful. Feel free to join my Patreon. The cheapest tier is $5 a month, and it gets you a handful of researched retail arbitrage or thrift bolos to look for, to find stuff to sell on eBay. And then I have a $10 tier where if you're struggling on eBay or you want more one-on-one help, I'm available for that. Drop a like if you liked this video and you learned something new about Nerf blasters. And leave a comment with any blasters that I may have forgotten that you think should fit in this list. Now get out there, have fun, and find something good.